The specific topic that was given was Shabbos in terms of restaurants, Indian restaurants specifically. And I just want to mention the idea of out of town is certainly, as everyone knows, very different than in town. It's a little bit of an insight we have now by us. We have many seed, we have boys, we have girls. So 2 weeks ago we had for dinner, we had 5 seed girls for supper. So we were talking to them, they were in Cincinnati the first time. So my wife asked one of them, have you ever been out of town before? So one of them thinks for a moment, says, yeah, last year I went to Queens. They were from Lakewood. So everyone has a different concept of out of town, but there's no question that I think everyone would consider deep Midwest Cincinnati out of town. And obviously to have a restaurant is something which is a struggle for a community like our size to support. Indian restaurants have been something which has been in a number of different communities, including ours, and the basic idea is that Indian restaurants don't have, at least many of them don't have any meat, totally vegetarian, which takes away a lot of the issues in terms of mashkiach tamidi, and our ability to have mashkiach tamidi is very, very difficult. Now there are a lot of other issues that come up, and I've been in discussion with both the CRC and other VA-ADIM that have Indian restaurants and other such restaurants, and in terms of discussion about them. So I mentioned on that point, when I first came to Cincinnati, so I was again very new in Tashkafa, I called up a fish and he right away sent down the Dabakon, the guys came down about a few weeks after I got there, spent 2 days there, reviewed all the restaurants and all the food service and the hotels. It was certainly the best thing ever happened to me, and I really want to give a special yashkayach to the fish and the Kohen for doing that. And that's part of the help that they give to the small VA-ADIM, and without them, I certainly would be lost. I very, very much appreciate that. So I want to share what basically what goes on in this Indian restaurant. So it's pretty much, it's all vegetarian, and there are obviously a number of different issues. The bishlachim, here we're talking about, obviously is the biggest issue. And they have a lot of cooking going on, a lot of different things going on. Pilot lights certainly are a big help for that. I just want to mention some of the different things they do. One of the things they cook there is something called a dosa. For those who are familiar with Indian food, dosa is similar to a wrap. I actually brought one because this was a fascinating shiloh which Rabbi Cohen spent a lot of time on. I actually wrote in Safirim about it, and it's been brought to Rebelsky, which I sent to him. Rabbi Shachar talked about it. So it's something which has been a big issue. The reason why it was an issue by us particularly was because there was no pilot lights on the dosa machine. And it is open on Shabbos, and it also is going to take a lot of these, make the bishlachim mission more serious. And
what machine did you say?
What?
What machine did you say didn't have a light?
It's a dosa machine. Basically, it's a machine which is a long flat griddle, and they pour this batter of beans and stuff like that on it. And this is what comes out. This is called a dosa.
Wait, picture.
It's no, so it's not filled. It's not filled. Actually, it's empty inside. They give you dips with it. You can dip it into different things. They have very interesting dips, vegetable dips, stuff like that, which they dip it inside. And this is made on this machine. When I moved to Cincinnati, this machine did not have a pilot light, which was our biggest issue because it was cooked. And yes, blue raka. It's totally thin batter. It's spread out on this. Is it what? There's no grains in here. There's none of the parts.
Take the mic. I can't hear. Take the mic. Shall we pass it around?
Pass it around.
Here, you want me to pass?
I paid $6 for that, so I want to eat it with the dips. Still smells fresh.
It's got no flour.
There's no flour. There's none of the mishmir dozen. It's all barley, lentils, chickpeas.
Is there barley?
No barley. They're not the one they make by us. So that was our first question. Is that item al shulchan malachim? That was our first question. I came in there, I saw this, there was no pilot light. Is it al shulchan malachim? So everyone can look at this down and see what's al shulchan malachim. This is really our big question. So we sent one to Rebelsky. We actually ordered one before it was sick. We sent one to him, and we ordered one from a restaurant in Manhattan, actually a Trafe restaurant, and we had it sent to the new office to make sure it's marked as Trafe. And Ravelsky actually sat him down in it, and it really did not come out with a clear psak. The main reason was because
they eat it?
So again, by them, it's a very. I asked the guy in the Indian restaurant, "Is this a Kosher food? Did they serve it in there?" He goes, "Yeah, for sure. They would serve it in the King's Palace." And by the Indian, this is a regular classic food. They would serve it all dinners anywhere by the Indians. In a restaurant, Indian restaurant, it's served as well. I'm not sure if you came to the Hilton Garden Inn, if they would serve that, they might look at it and say, like, "What is that?" So that was really our big struggle with that. How exactly do we define that?
The owners are Indian.
The owners are Indian.
The Hilton Garden Inn.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay, so they might. Okay, so maybe.
Wait 1 second. Rabbi Grossman?
Okay, so that was really part of the shiloh. That was part of the shiloh that we were trying to bring by the person could get Apr on. And there was definitely a strong thought that Belsky and other person had that maybe it doesn't not tell you where you are, tell you in where we serve, tell you each country. This is all part of the shiloh, and everyone can down in the shiloh.
You said barley, lentils.
No barley.
A bunch of beans and rice.
Has rice, has ground up rice, ground up lentils. Sorry, I can't hear.
But let him say the shiloh before we all go ahead.
So this was part of the main issue was Eloshov Malachim, and there was a lot of discussion about that. Interestingly, later on, it was brought to Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah had a story which was mentioned to him by Feingold, actually sitting here, and mentioned the shiloh to Rosh Hashanah that this thing is not eaten at all with a fork and knife, and it's too big even with one's hands. And he asked Rosh Hashanah if that can be a svara that you never see in Shulchan Malachim anyone eat with the hands. Rosh Hashanah said that's a good svara, that itself could be taken away from other Shulchan Malachim. And I think that was a strong time he had that would not be Shulchan Malachim. So we were struggling with this for a little bit, trying to figure out a good eitzah, because we didn't have a klor psak that's not Shulchan Malachim, and because of that we were struggling how to deal with this. Didn't have a pile of light. Baruch Hashem, the biggest yad d'shmaya we had was a few weeks later that machine broke. And the guy called me up and said, "By the way, we're getting a new machine." And I said, "Really wonderful, I'll have to come see it." I came down that day and had pile lights. I was just shkaf about this, and Baruch Hashem solved the issue without getting to anything further than that. And Baruch Hashem, now the pile lights are lit by the mashgiach, and we light them every week, and we have that issue taken care of. But this is something just to bring up. This is something which, when you're dealing with foreign countries and foreign restaurants, something which was a challenge that we had.
There's a lot you want to take some, before you relax, you want to take some questions.
Yes, sir.
All right, any questions on this particular thing?
Is this establishment under your hashkafa, or you're just recommending it for people to buy in?
Okay, so it is under our hashkafa. It is under our hashkafa, and we have basically our mashgiach is there in terms of the actual hashkafa process. Mashgiach is there between. We try to have him there twice a day, and twice a day. Besides me coming there, I come in there, stop in there also. Usually we do once or twice a week. But the mashgiach is there about twice a day. He comes every morning and he lights all the fires. Even though they have fire lights now and all the things, we told him they can't light the fires. He lights all the fires, but we have the fire lights as backup. He's lighting all the fires in the restaurant. He also comes there to the nichas in there as well, and checking out everything, and I go there as well. So this is under our hashkafa.
Yes, sure, Graham.
You have your mashgiach come in and checking on Shabbos also.
Yes, so we do have a mashgiach coming in on Shabbos. That's one of the things I mentioned. We do have a mashgiach, not every Shabbos, but he's there every few weeks and he's coming by and they don't know when he's coming. But yes, he's there to nichas on Shabbos.
Do they have a clay oven?
Do they have
Clay oven.
a clay oven? So they have I don't know if it's called an oven. They call it it's more like a chamber pot. It's actually very similar to what the Gemara is talking about in terms of the tamer and the radiyas apat. Yeah, so they make that. They have a bread. They have a bread which they make. It's like sort of like a roll, and they do make that for bread. That actually is only used for bread itself.
No meat?
No, they don't have meat. It's totally vegetarian. There's no meat in the whole place.
In Indian style, they usually use the meat on the skewers when they put it into the clay oven, but to cook.
No, there are different. I found out very interesting. There are different sects of India. Northern Indians.
Northern Indians eat, southern Indians vegetarian.
Right. So I thought it was the opposite. Okay, but trying to make it. I thought he told me northern. Whatever it was, there's certain parts of India they don't use any meat. That's their religion, etc. But there's no meat there. No meat there. So they do have this bread there. Now, one of the other interesting issues was that bread. That bread also doesn't have a pile of lights. The only other thing right now doesn't have a pile of lights. So we do light it. We do light it every day. We light that oven to make it Pas Yisrael. But I personally, if someone calls me and says Pas Yisrael, so we don't advertise Pas Yisrael because it is open Shabbos and it is being that is lit by them on Shabbos, that oven. And even though it's probably almost impossible to have any bread left over, that bread doesn't last a day, and it's probably never going to be there after Shabbos. But someone tells I tell them what they do. So we do light it every day. But I don't officially call it Pas Yisrael, but that's the only other thing doesn't have right now pile of lights. Everything else has pile of lights. I do light everything else daily. So, yeah.
Whatever you're doing is good work.
There's a mic right there.
Whatever you do. Hi. Whatever you're doing is good work, but I want to caution you. Seattle VA-ADIM has like 4 of these restaurants under Kosher ownership. And what happens is, not one Frumi Yid could ever open a restaurant because they have a 25% disadvantage financially because of Shabbos Yontif and everything that we're going to put on them, that it's impossible from a business perspective to put a Frumi Yid in a restaurant to own one. So it's maybe good one, maybe good two, but I want to warn you, if you create a market, you may have saved Kashrus on one side, but you have the entire Jewish community on the other side.
That's an excellent point. That's excellent. Right now we only have one, but at this point, I'm not sure if our community can support a full-time firm restaurant either, regardless. But at the point, we're growing. At the point that's relevant, that's going to be a very interesting point. I just have a few other points to mention. Again, obviously, the other thing is the fact that we do allow without a Mashgiach Tamidi. I'm sure probably most of the across the country are not allowed to have any restaurant without a Mashgiach Tamidi. That's something which, again, we have. In terms of what we have, we can afford as a VAD. It's something which that's what we provide. We have a nichnas again a couple times a day.
Is the restaurant under Kasher on Shabbos?
Yes. Yeah, we do have someone going in on Shabbos.
Not the hashgacha, but is there a way that you say that it's for the Yidden they should eat that 6 days a week, or whoever wants to go in there and buy it on Shabbos, a Yid?
So it does not say any exceptions for Shabbos. It doesn't say on Shabbos that it's different on Shabbos. So it's officially on the Hashgacha on Shabbos, and if there was some Yid within Shabbos, but that's...
It's not your fault.
That's fine. Just one addition, which Rabbi Cohen also brought up in his last appearing, was about the issue of Avodah Zarah, and potentially can be an issue in these situations. I've been there. I've been in every nook and cranny of this store. I have not seen anything. I spoke to the guys. So again, do I know that at 3 o'clock in the morning he's not coming back there and serving it to his idols? We're pretty confident that it's not happening, but it's something which potentially can be an issue. Someone's looking into in the restaurants, potentially can be an issue. Like Cohen mentioned in Sapir that that's a potential issue. We're very confident that that's not happening in this restaurant, and that's not going to be an issue. But again, just to bring up a potential issue that can be, it's something that's shown that can be there. Also one other point: the Indians, they're very Hamish, probably much more Hamish than what we would call Hamish. So we found that the whole operation there to be a very Hamish operation. Baruch Hashem, recently they got a new manager who put things under control a lot more than it's been until now, which has definitely helped us a lot. But we just have to sort of deal with that situation. We have a person they're very relaxed about the whole thing. They can bring in things, this and that, and there can be a potential issue. Baruch Hashem, I think we have pretty good control there right now in terms of what's coming in there and Mashgiach's on top of that. But just in general, the Indians I think are known to be Hamish, and that's certainly something which we have struggled with.
Take 30 seconds on the box. Say what the...
Just as far as the only other main thing that we do this particular Telam, which we do use a fair amount of different vegetables. So by us, the way it works is that they get a big delivery on Thursday. So it is one big delivery a week, and that usually suffices them for the week. Mashkiach there for a number of hours there doing that. I'm sure if the presenters get from yesterday it might not feel sufficient. That's certainly the case. But we do a fair amount. We follow the national policies in terms of Divrei Telom, and they're doing that. And he's there throughout the week monitoring that they don't get anything new. They almost never get anything new throughout the week. They usually use what they have on Thursday, and that's usually suffices for the week. But it's something which we've been struggling with in terms of just maintaining control about what was checked and what was not checked. Sometimes we'll check only part of the things and check some later in the week, and we're trying to manage different places. I think it's part of the Hamishkeit that we struggle with, that we wanted to keep. We have different bins, color bins, which are something to check, which are not checked, and we're trying to monitor them and keep tabs on them and marking off how much is in there. Something again which we're trying to get very, very strict control on to make sure that it's really being used what was checked and not used what was not checked, and something which we're struggling with. But Baruch Hashem is something which I think we moved along once we had different color systems and color-coded boxes, etc., that help us tremendously.
Is it a dairy restaurant?
Dairy, yes, it's a dairy restaurant. It's not only
They make their own cheese.
Yeah, they make their own cheese. It is not a render-based cheese. It's a paneer cheese, which they do make, and they do make their own cheese.
What about cauliflower? They don't use cauliflower?
So they don't use cauliflower there. They use other things, but not.
Okay, I should tell you, everyone, wonderfully, should be my